Okay, for this tutorial we're going to show you how to create a project, a new website with an NBusiness project for your data access layer. We're going to start by doing what you normally would do, creating a website, and we're going to do this from scratch. This whole thing is going to be from scratch. So we will go to create a web project just like we normally do. We're going to call this mysite.web. Create it in our default directory. Once it's created, we will go ahead and add a reference to NBusiness. This has all of the classes that we'll need for our business object framework and our web controls, like the entity data source, which we'll show more in a later tutorial. Once we've created our web project, we can then add an entity project, and this shows up in our list of project types under Visual E#, just like any other project. We can pick two different types here. We can pick either the C# or the VB. Entity projects typically have E# code files, but they also have as the code beside C# or VB. So in this case, we're going to change this to mysite.business. And then we're going to add a reference to that project, like so. And once we have that reference added, you can see here we have an entity called entity in this case, and it uses the template entity base. So through that means we can, if we build this, and it should succeed, then we are able to now access the object, an object called entity. We use a factory method called createNew to create new instances of entities rather than using a constructor. This is because there's a lot of logic that you want to do. It's just a pattern for building your entities. And then you can see here that our entity has an entity ID property, which is of type int. And if we go back to our entity here and we add a new field, and then we build all this, we can see that when we access our entity, there's now a data property. And then we can simply save our entity to persist it to the data source. Now this isn't going to work quite yet. We have some configuration to do, which we will talk about in the next tutorial.